Student-centered coaching focuses on improving student learning outcomes through collaborative and reflective coaching practices. In a student-centered coaching approach, the coach works closely with teachers to implement best instructional practices while using student evidence to help guide instruction. Throughout the coaching partnership, the coach and teacher collaboratively make decisions with the purpose of positively impacting student learning.
We're going to plan a choral counting for your class today, and I know you guys have been counting by ones.
Yes.
So what do you think we should do next?
I would really like to count by tens.
Okay, and so they have been counting on the decade.
Yes. Yes, they can do the decades, no problem.
Okay, so let's count on off the decade, those numbers. What number do you suggest we start with?
Let's start with 6.
Okay, and our standard states in first grade that we count up to 120.
Right.
And your kids do well with that, count by ones.
Yes. And on the decades, so I think we could probably push them a little further than that.
Okay, what do you suggest?
Let's go a little past 200 and go to 216.
I like that.
The coach and teacher collaborate to identify learning goals during the planning process and determine ways to work together to help students meet the goal. During today's planning session, the first grade teacher and coach will plan a choral counting routine with a specific standards-based learning goal in mind. The goal of the lesson will be to count by tens, starting at any number. This is a standard that can be challenging for many students.
So when we're doing our count, how would you like to record? Do you want to record it horizontally or vertically?
I think we need to do both. I think we need to do vertical for the tens, but then do it horizontally so that they can see
the 100. So really we'd start out vertically.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that idea. So you're going to be the recorder, and I think we can teach in tandem, and I can lead some of the lesson. You can jump in with any questions you have. I can as well. And also, my mentor will be here, and another coaching move is our notice and naming tool. She can fill that out for us, and that can help us see how the kids are doing and help guide our instruction as well.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Importantly, the coach and teacher will also plan for ways they can gather evidence of student understanding to inform their instructional practices. As part of the planning process, the teacher and coach will select coaching moves for their time together in the classroom. This will support the coaching partnership and help to clearly define the teacher's and coach's role throughout their work together. The use of the moves will help promote a deeper, trusting relationship between the coach and teacher.
So we are going to record it vertically. How would you like to do it? In lines of 5 or lines of 10?
I think 10.
I do too. I like that.
The 10.
That's how I like to do it as well. So let's say I'm going to just write down, we're going to actually plan it out. That way we understand how we're going to record it. So we're going to start at 6, 16, 26.
I like how that goes.
Me too. And they would see that pattern.
Right.
I'm not going to write it all the way out. But then also during this time, since we're teaching in tandem, we could actually stop. I would probably stop at 116 and then start asking the kids, okay, what are the patterns that you see? We really want to push on that place value.
Yes.
Their ones and their tens. And then also we could actually have boxes they could fill in as well to try to see what they can see the pattern.
Right.
See the pattern of the numbers that come next.
And figure out the next.
Exactly. All right, so our goals are what we anticipate students noticing. What's the first thing you think they'll notice?
They definitely notice those ones, that the 6 doesn't change. So the ones value.
So that's that place value, and that the ones do not change.
Right.
All right, what else do you think
They've really been
notice?
working. The 10, so we've been working on saying the ones and tens, not just the number.
Yes.
So that tens value going up, some are going to say by ones, but then we prompt them, well, how much is that one?
Yeah, exactly. It's a group of 10. And maybe we can actually push on, okay, if they do say, oh, it's going up by 1, but maybe we can push and say, no, it's actually going up one group of 10 each time to really push on that knowledge. All right. Anything else that we want them to notice?
And then horizontally, we're going to go by 100.
Yes, they're going to see the numbers increasing by 100. I like that.
As the coach and teacher plan, they will anticipate student responses, discuss possible errors or misconceptions, and practice ways to record the count to elicit patterns. The coach and teacher will purposefully plan for opportunities to incorporate the mathematics teaching practices so that students are given opportunities to engage in student mathematical practices.
So what are some possible misconceptions some of the kids may have?
Usually going from 6 to 16, that's
those
usually a
teen
trouble
numbers,
spot, right?
Yeah, they have a hard time with that.
So if you start with a 10, they do better. But
Yes.
starting with the 6 and then the 10, it confuses them sometimes.
Yes.
And again, from that 10 to that 20.
Yes.
Just because the pattern sounds different.
And I think when they get down here to 96, that's going to be another hard one because they're
yes.
going into the hundreds. Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of tricky for them, but I think they'll get it if we push them. So what are some questions that we are going to ask them?
If we skip this number, what would be the next number?
Yes, I like that.
Okay.
Of course, we're going to ask them what patterns that they see.
Yes, to give them one where they find one by the 10s.
Yes. And then also find one
then-
by the hundreds.
Yes,
Hopefully they'll
I
see
think they can do
and make
that
that
too.
connection as well. Okay.
May take some practice.
It may, of course. That's what we're here for. What are some future core countings that you would like to focus on? Since we're already working on counting by tens and we're counting forward,
Okay.
what do you suggest?
So since we've been doing 10 more, let's work on doing 10 less.
Okay, I like that. 10 less. And are they pretty good at counting 10 less on the decade?
On the decades, they're not confident.
Okay.
So
that might be a little bit
more.
more challenging for them doing it off the decade.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that'll be good. So once we have this mastered, move on to counting 10 less. I like it.
I do too.
In this coaching session, the coach and teacher have selected the coaching move Teaching in Tandem. This lesson is co-planned, and they will take equal ownership in the planning and implementation of the lesson. Following the activity, the teacher and coach will reflect on student evidence to consider what went well and to determine next instructional steps to help students meet the intended learning goals. Through very intentional planning and a positive coach-teacher relationship that is geared specifically towards student success, we are ensuring that learning is equitable, engaging, and effective for every student in every classroom every day.